Hi guys. So in this video, I would like to discuss with you all about few important resources which are provided by IMA. So without any delay, let's look at those. So first, I'm going to Google and I'm going to search IMA CMA US. So I'll be taken to the IMA website, which is imanet.org. So let's click on that. So here is the IMA website which is loading. So FMA, no. Okay, so first things first, you can see on the top that the CMA certification curriculum is changing soon. So this is regarding the syllabus changes that are applicable from September 2024 window onwards. We're going to discuss about that later on. But let's continue about the resources that I was talking about. So what you need to do is go to your certifications and select CMA overview from there. So now you are on the CMA page, and again on the top you can see changes coming to CMA exam starting September 2024. Now we are in the month of May, so it is showing that only one window is left, that is the June-July window. So that is okay. Now scrolling down, what is CMA? Then what are the benefits of CMA? If you are interested in becoming CMA, you can fill this form and submit to the IMA, and they'll get back to you with details about CMA course. Then you have your you know, counters and all that stuff. So count of the CMA certification, there are total 12 critical competencies. 50 years of experience is there for IMA. 69% have shown professional growth. 21 percentage people get 21% higher salary you will get compared to non-CMAs, all that stuff. Then the two parts of CMA, part one, what are the competencies, 6 competencies, part two, what are the 6 competencies, along with the percentage of weightage is also given. This is all fine, and then how you are going to become CMA. Now this is the area that I am interested and I want to discuss with you about. That is the CMA resources. So browse the resources and tools to help you better understand the CMA program and pass the exam. So you can see there are 4 sections here. Let's talk about these 4 sections. Apart from this 4, actually the fourth one here is just notification. So these 3 are the resources. Plus there is one more resource which is not provided to everyone, that you will get only once you register with IMA. I'll talk about that at the end. So the first one is the candidate handbook. So let's see what it is. I'll click on that. So you can see CMA handbook. So this handbook basically has all the information that you want to know about the course, about the CMA US course. So I clicked on this download now button. There is a PDF pop-up that has come, and let me open that. There's the PDF file. Okay, see, there is a 15-page handbook that is downloaded. CMA handbook, your guide to information and requirements for CMA. So welcome to the CMA program. What is IMA, when it was founded in 1972, and what kind of certification you will get, then the practical knowledge at workplace, financial planning, analytics, control, all this kind of skills will be available. So all that basic intro about the certification, then you will have all this content that you can go through. So you can see here introduction, then regents, then candidate conduct, eligibility criteria, entrance fees for the exam, what all you need, how the CMA exam will be, what are the recent changes in GAP and IFRS exam, how it is administrated, how you can schedule the exam, reschedulation, refund policy, everything that you should know about the CMA exam are given here. So the purpose is this. The board of regents of ICMA has overall responsibility for evaluating and validating candidates application credentials, all that stuff. There will be 15 to 19 people. They serve for 3 years term, then they rotate, the new people will come in. You don't really need to all that know all that information, but just in case if you are interested. And conduct of the candidate, so this is also very important for you guys over there. We have seen so many people using the CMA credential without actually completing the CMA, because there are two aspects to your CMA course. One is regarding your completing both the parts of the exam, And the other aspect is where you are supposed to have 2 years of professional work experience. So, if you have to use the letter CMA as a prefix to your name, let's say if I am planning to use CMA, I am a qualified CMA, but I am not at all supposed to use, or I'm not supposed to write like this. I cannot say CMA Sai Manikanta. Sir, why? Because there are, as I mentioned, two aspects to CMA membership. This is called as prefix. So if you want to have a prefix before your name, you need to do two things. One is to pass two parts of the exam, part 1 and part 2. This I have completed. 2 years of experience. I have over 14, if I'm not wrong, yeah, maybe 11, 12 years of experience. It doesn't matter. 2 years work experience is also required. I completed this also. Then once you are done with this two, you will be added to CMA members register. Okay. So first point is that if you just complete both the parts of the exam, you are a qualified CMA. You are not supposed to use the words CMA in front of your name yet. Okay, you have to write that. Let's say if I just pass the both parts, I don't yet have the work experience, I would have to say Sai Manikanta, and I can write as a description qualified CMA US. I cannot use CMA in front of my name. That prefix cannot be used. Okay. So once I complete 2 years of work experience, get it submitted to IMA and get a membership number, then I can use the designation CMA in front of my name. That is step one. And after that also, you have to keep paying the membership fee every year. Okay. Plus you have to complete your CPE credits, continuing professional education credits. You have to keep continuing every year to keep your membership active. I have stopped paying my membership fee. I did not do any CPE credit programs. Okay, you have to attend webinars, seminars, do online courses that are prescribed by IMA, all that stuff you have to do. So I am not doing these two things for the last 2 years. So why? Because there is no necessity for me at this point to continue the membership. I'm already working with a US company as a finance controller, and as a operational director for Indian operations. So I don't need to keep my CMA membership active at this point. It's not required as a professional choice. So yeah, it's just a personal choice and a professional choice. It has nothing to uh, do with any other factors, to be very honest. So as long as you keep your membership fee and your CPE credits, uh, then your membership would stay active. Only active members can use the words CMA in front of their name. Otherwise, you are not supposed to use it. So that is one important point which many CMA students and CMA passed out candidates also make mistake with. So that would be considered as a remark against your conduct. Apart from that, you should not disclose the contents of the examination to anyone. But if you see, there are so many Telegram groups where they keep sharing the exam questions with the other friends. That's, they think that it's okay, but no, you're not supposed to disclose the contents of your examination with anyone else. And you should not cheat in your exam. Then if you are caught cheating, then your grades will be invalidated, your exam scores will be removed, and you will be disqualified from appearing from any other CMA examinations. You will not be allowed to sit for the exams again ever. Okay. And what is included in cheating, you can see copying the answers from others, using unauthorized personal items, study materials during the exam, helping other candidates, uh, taking out any material from the exam room, like copying the questions on a paper and bringing them out, whatever it is, sharing the questions that appeared on the exam. So please be very careful when you are doing that. You are not supposed to share the questions that came in your exam. If you do that, and if IMA finds that out, they have the complete rights to remove you from the CMA register, IMA register. So please be very careful. Do not share your questions with anyone once you are done with the exam. So, sharing and discussing questions that appeared on the exam on social media forms, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, WeChat, Snapchat, etc. Not limited to. Sir, I'm doing it on Telegram. Huh? Not limited to. Even Telegram should not be done. Next, bringing another unallowed items into the exam center, unauthorized study materials, taking photographs of the questions, remembering the exam questions and sharing the questions with anybody. So all these are professional misconduct. So you are not supposed to do all that. Then, so the board which we discussed above, so they'll make the final determination as to the expulsion, removal of the member or that student from the IMA and register. And you can see, even if you are already certified by IMA and later on you are found to be cheating, it will be considered as violation of the IMA statement of ethics and professional practice, which you also have in part 2. It will be result in revocation of the CMS certificate. That means, suppose I am there, I am already passed out. So what if I do some kind of misconduct, I do some kind of cheating? So my membership will be removed, my certificate will be cancelled. Okay. So please be very careful. Now regarding the eligibility criteria on how you can become eligible to get the CMS certificate, you should have active membership with IMA. That means your registration should be done. Then you should have paid your exam fee, entrance fee, CMA entrance fee. You should have your educational qualification, that is graduation. Then experience, 2 years in accounts or commerce or audit or finance or whatever it is. All the required examination parts, 2 parts should be completed. You should comply with the ethical professional practice code of IMA. After doing all of this only, you will be allowed to get the CMA certificate. Otherwise, you won't get the CMA certificate. Even if you pass both the exams, you have to still make sure that you get all of that. Then you will, once you pay your entrance fee, CMA registration fees, what will happen? So you will get 3 years of validity from the date of your registration. Okay. So once you register with IMA, you will get your student membership number, and that student membership number will be valid for 3 years. So you have to complete both your exams in the 3 years. If both the parts are not successfully completed within 3 years, any passed part will expire and you have to repay the CMA entrance fees. Please be very, very careful and pay very attention. Sir, I registered on 1st May 2024. Okay, that means your registration will expire on 30th April 2027, 25, 26, 27. Alright. So when your registration expires in 2027 April 30th, suppose you have completed part 1. Okay, and you are not yet done with part 2, you did not complete part 2 till 30th of April 2027, then your part 1 also gone. You have to register again with IMA and you have to give both the part 1 and 2 again. Your part 1 will not be carried forward. That is why you have to complete your course within 3 years. You should not be delayed more than that, but try to complete your course within the first 1-2 years of registration itself. Don't even wait for the third year, because it's just a 2-part exam. So take a gap of maybe 6 months between both and complete the course within 1 year. If you are a professional, qualified professional, complete the course within 6 months itself. Do not wait for someone or something to come. So just go ahead and finish your course as early as possible. All right. Next, what does the IMA entrance fees include? What all will you get? See, the first one is the most important one. This is what I told you. There are 3 resources shown on the website apart from the notifications section. So they are So you have your CMA candidate handbook, content specification outline, learning outcome statement. These three, and then notifications. But I told you there is one more which you get after you register for the CMA exams. That is this part. Access to the CMA support package beginning on the date of entry into the CMA program. What does that mean? That means the moment you register with IMA, you get something called CMA support package. Now, what is this support package? So, you can see here the support package should be supplemented with the formal plan of study. So, let me tell you, there are many misconceptions about the support package. So, let's discuss about that. So, support package is basically where IMA gives you a question bank, okay, that has some MCQs and the answers to those MCQs. Now you might be wondering, is that some kind of a guide or is that some kind of a practice book? What exactly it is? So IMA uses a repository, or we can call it as a huge bank, where there will be some questions. Let's say 5,000 questions are there, MCQs. Okay, so out of this 5,000 MCQs, 100 MCQs will be tested for the exam, each window. So let's say they have 10 versions or iterations or 10 sets for you to easily understand, like set A, set B, set C, like that. 10 iterations of the question paper is there. So 10 into 100, that means in that testing window they are testing 1000 MCQs overall. Is that right? Assuming no repetition among the each set. So approximately 1000 MCQs are being used out of the 5000 MCQs in the question bank for part 1. Now what IMA does is, out of this 1000 MCQs, if the same question has been let's say 50 MCQs are tested multiple times already, they have already tested it like 10-15 times, and they feel that it is getting repetitive and there is no more scope to test these questions any further. So what they'll do is they'll release those questions to the students as the question bank. These are called as retired questions. Okay, these are called retired questions. Retired questions means they will not be coming in the exam anymore. Okay, these questions will not come for the exam. They are retired already. That means there is no chance that they will be tested again. Then should we ignore this question bank? Should we just leave it because anyways those questions won't come in the exam? No, please understand, you should mandatorily do this question bank. Oh, okay, you should mandatorily solve this IMA support package. Why does anyone need to do that? Because it's just retired questions. It doesn't make any sense. No, it makes sense, buddy. The thing is, these 5000 MCQs in the question bank, these 50 retired questions are also part of that 5000 only. That means these 50 MCQs are of the standard of IMA. As in, what type of questions IMA usually test? What is the level of knowledge that they are expecting from the student? What standard of questions, difficulty level are they testing in the examination? So by doing this support package, you will get an idea as to the level of difficulty that IMA is expecting in the exam. They are actual exam questions. They are not just randomly prepared by IMA to help the students. They are actual previous exam questions that are no more tested. But that doesn't mean similar questions won't come or the same standard of questions won't come. So it is mandatory for you to do the exam support package. Do not even go to the exam hall without solving the support package. That means you are going to a war without knowing the strength of the enemies and the weaknesses of the enemy. So you should be prepared before going to an exam, just like you should be prepared before going to a war. Okay, so that is the first and foremost thing regarding the exam support package. It is provided by IMA free of cost once you register with IMA All the students will get that. They can log into their MyIMA and download from there. Um, if not, if you are enrolled with any tutor, if not Global Phoenix, you can absolutely ask your tutor to share a support package with you. Absolutely fine. And they'll also share that. So the CMA support package will be given to you at the beginning of the entry into the CMA program. Then apart from that, you would get performance feedback reports from IMA. God bless. I hope that you guys won't get this from IMA. You should not get this from IMA, sir. Why, sir? Because this will be sent only to the failed candidates. Okay, performance feedback reports are sent to only the students for whom the this one, what do you call, essay section did not open in the exam. If they are disqualified or if they did not pass the MCQ part, and if they could not even access the essay section, they will get the performance feedback report, not all the students. So I hope and I assume and I wish that you guys won't get your performance feedback reports. You will go on to the essay section and you will clear your exam, and you will get the next one, which is the final score of report that you will get upon completing your exams in an email. And apart from that, you will also get a review of your educational and experience credentials. That means, we discussed, right, you have to get 2 years of work experience to get your CMA membership. So you have to submit that form also. Then personalized numbered certificate upon completion of all the requirements. Let me check if I have the CMA certificate here. Okay, anyways, this is a I'm assuming that this video will be up on YouTube as well, so I would rather not not disclose my CMA certificate here. Yeah, I have the CMA certificate, but yeah, let's not disclose that here. But I can show you the exam support package that I had back in 2019. This is an old one, 5 years ago. So I'm not going to, disclose the questions or anything also. But this is the 2019 version of that, not the latest version of 2022 or 23. But you can see exam support package, the table of contents. Part 1 exam practice question, answers to those questions. Part 2 practice, answers to those questions. Part 1 and Part 2 practice essays. These are MCQs, these are the essays. And apart from that, you also have additional Part 1 and Part 2 practice questions and essays also. So there are so many questions for your practice. Let me just show you the Part 1, how many questions you have. In Part 1, you have 293 only in section F. Only in section F. These questions are numbered section wise, if I am remembering it right. Every section will have the question. No, okay, no, not section wise. So in total only in Part 1 you have 293 questions in the first practice part, and then again you have additional practice question. So if I go there and check how many questions are there, that's another 74. So approximately 350 360 questions are there, which are previous exam questions. So the standard will be as per IMA level. I hope I am able to explain you enough on this, how the support package works. So current tab will be closed. Okay, that is regarding the CMA entrance fee and what all you will get from the IMA. Alright, next moving on to the educational qualification. So what educational qualification is there? So you must satisfy at least one of the following educational requirements and submit to ICMA within 7 years of completing the CMA exam. Please be very careful. Sir, can I register with IMA even when I'm in 10th? Yes, you can. You can register with IMA in your 10th. You can register with IMA in your intermediate. You can register with IMA when you're doing your 11th or 12th if you are in CBSE or whatever it is. Yes, you can register even without completing the graduation. Absolutely no problem. IMA has two types of memberships or student registrations and professional registrations. So you have student category and you have professional category in IMA. So basically, if you are yet to complete, have your these educational qualifications that are listed here, then you will be considered as a student. If you are already completed these qualifications, you will be considered as a professional. So let's see in detail what this is about. So first one is bachelor's degree from an accredited college or university. So it could be from the US, it could be from any other parts of the globe. It doesn't matter where you are getting it. So as long as you have a bachelor's degree and your college is in the list of accredited colleges of IMA, you will be eligible for having the educational qualification prescribed by IMA. Now, sir, I did my graduation from a local college. So what happens in that case? Do not worry, just see this part. If you cannot locate your college or university on the accredited listing, please contact us at CMA education documents at imanet.org. So you can send your graduation certificate marks memo to this email address, and they will consider and they'll verify whether you are eligible for getting the CMA membership or not. Okay, all transcripts should be emailed directly from your college or university to the email address given. So you cannot send your documents directly. Your college should email the documents to IMA, your graduation. But IMA does not really strictly request the college to send that. Even students sending the self-attested mark list are also considered by IMA on liberal grounds. But again, the rule says that you are supposed to send your transcripts directly through your college. IMA gives some relaxations to that rule. That is their choice. So what if I don't have a bachelor's degree? What if I am a qualified CA without graduation? So you can go to this link here and you can see some list of professional qualifications. Okay, so you can see these certifications do not require a bachelor's degree or have alternative paths for meeting their educational requirements. That means if you are if you have done any of these listed ones, here you go, associate or fellow. That means whether you have a CA associate status or CA fellow status, that is number of years of experience. ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and whether you have done intermediate and final level. So CPT students are not allowed. IPCC passed out or final passed out students can directly enroll with CMA, IMA, and cost secretaries, executive and professional levels, even CS students can enroll with IMA. Sir, what about Indian CMA students? Guys, please understand, earlier there was an MOU between ICMAI. Right now, I guess they keep changing their ICWA, ICMA, ICAI. They keep changing that. I think right now Indian cost accountants is ICMAI. So there was a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, between the Indian CMA qualification and the US CMA qualification. So if you're qualified Indian CMA, you need not write the IMA exams again. That was an MOU that existed before. I think it expired in 2020, and after that it was not renewed. So Indian CMA candidates, they can enroll for IMA to do CMA US, but they don't directly get the CMA US certification like earlier. It's gone now. You don't have that eligibility anymore. But yeah, other students or other qualifications, if you have completed CPA in Canada, or if you have completed CA in Australia, or CPA in Australia, or if you have done where is this, ACCA in UK, or if you have done CFA in the US, or CMA or CMA, you are doing that, CPA in the US, you are eligible for directly enrolling with IMA. Okay, so yes, professional candidates also can directly enroll to IMA. So the first category is the student category, second category is professional category. Now, sir, what if I do not have a bachelor degree, or I do not even have the professional certification? I just passed my 10th, or I just passed my 12th, or I passed my intermediate. So can I enroll with IMA? Yes, you can enroll with IMA as a student. You can sit for the exams, you can pass your exams, and you have to submit your graduation certificate within 7 years from the date of registering with IMA. So within 7 years, from the date of completing the exam. Okay. So you have 7 years after completing your exam to submit your graduation certificate. Okay. So that's in detail. I have covered almost all the requirements there. And then regarding the experience of the qualification, uh, you should have 2 continuous years of professional experience in management accounting or financial management. This can be done, your 2 years of work experience can be before passing the exams or within 7 years after passing the exam. Okay, either before registering for the exam also you can have the 2 years experience, or after passing the exams also you can have 2 years experience within the 7 years of passing the exam. So they should be in full-time employment. Part-time jobs will be considered. I'll talk about part-time jobs again, but 2 years of full-time experience is required. But if you do part-time job, then 2 years is not sufficient. We'll talk about that. You can see here a continuous part-time position of 20 hours per week meeting the defined definition of qualified experience will count towards this requirement at a rate of 1 year of experience for every 2 years of part-time employment. Sir, what are they talking about? It's slightly confusing. Can you explain? Let me tell you. See, if you are doing part-time, okay, the part-time minimum, it will be considered only if you work 20 hours in a week. If your part-time job is for less than 20 hours a week, if it is a part-time job of 2 hours or 3 hours a week, that will not be considered. Minimum 20 hours a week should be there. Okay, so if you are working a 5-day week, Monday through Friday, that means every day you have to work at least 4 hours. So 5 fours will be 20 hours a week. Only then part-time job will be considered. And in that part-time also, if you work for 2 years, it will be considered as 1 year for work experience. Obviously, right? Usually we have 8 hours working day. So you are working only 4 hours. That means you will be considered as 1 year experience if you work for 2 part-time years, 2 years in part-time. Alright? And internships, trainees, clerical positions do not provide appropriate experience. So if you are intern for 3 years, that will not be considered as work experience. Professional experience is required, not training. Okay. So qualifying experience means what? Where you have to use judgments regularly made by employing the principles of management accounting, financial management. So you have some examples here. These are not the list. This is not an exhaustive list. You can do other works also, but these are just examples. Like for example, preparing the financial statements, planning and analysis, monthly, quarterly, year-end closings, audit, forensic, budget preparation and reporting, general ledger, balance sheets, forecasting, decision making, financial management, cost accounting, risk evaluation, supply chain, cost management, data analytics. So you have a list of these things. Even tax accounting and tax report preparations and submissions are also covered. Even reporting to your SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, like your if you are a listed company, you are submitting some documents to SEC, that is also covered. If you are into sustainability reporting, S1, S2, S3 reports, that is also covered. And most important one, many students have this. So what if I am a teacher? Yes, if you are a teacher for costing or management accounting or financial management at a college or university, it will be considered as working experience. Sir, what if I am teaching, let's say something like economics to the students? No, that will not be covered. What if I am teaching costing? Yes, it will be considered. You should be doing costing, accounting, financial management, any of these, or audit also will be covered. Okay, if you are covering these areas, then yes, it will be considered. Otherwise, no, it won't be considered. What if I'm teaching professional courses like ACCA or CMA if you are teaching CMA directly, that's good. But if you are not a qualified CMA yourself, you are not usually supposed to teach CMA. Your college does not agree for that. But either ways, if you are teaching ACCA, if you are teaching these papers, PM, FR, FA, audit, then FM, AFM, SBR, then yes, you can consider that as professional experience of 2 years. What if I'm a part-time teacher? Then 4 years of part-time work experience is required. Part-time teaching experience is required. Then coming to the examination, I have made specific videos about part 1 and part 2 exams in detail. So I'm not going to cover that in this lecture anymore. So 4 hours of exam will be there, 100 MCQs will be there, and 2 essays will be there. I already spoke about this 100 MCQs being split into two parts, 90 marked questions and 10 unmarked questions will be there. These unmarked questions will not be given any score. Only 90 questions will have scores like that. I have given detail about part 1 and part 2. They are on the YouTube also. So I would recommend you guys watching those videos for part 1 and part 2 exams on the Global Finex channel. Okay. Regarding the exams, I'm going to skip that. Now, sir, IFRS and US GAAP keep changing very frequently. In part 1, CMA part 1, section A, we have a last topic called as IFRS versus US GAAP. So, since the IFRS and US GAAP keep changing every year, when will they become exam applicable for my exam? Remember, very simple, any change in the GAAP or IFRS will be coming in the CMA exam 1 year after the effective date. That means if an IFRS is changed from 1st September 2024, okay, I should not do this, 1st September 2024, then if you are giving your exam on 25th September 2025, that means 1 year has already passed from this date, so it is applicable for your exam. If you are giving exam in June 25, then it is not applicable for you because 1 year did not complete. After 1 year, that will become examinable for the CMA part. So your exams will be conducted 3 times every year: Jan, Feb, May, June, September, October. So they'll close on the 15th of February regarding the Jan, Feb window. And if you're planning to give in the May, June, then you have to book your exam before 15th of June. So if you are planning for September, October, you can book your exams till 15th of October. So you don't really need to book it upfront itself. But please remember, there are limited seats available for the exam in each prometric center. Suppose if you are booking in Hyderabad, don't wait till last day to book your exam. Let's say I'm planning for May, June 2024. Already today is 12th of May. So can I book my exam today? Yes, absolutely. You can book your exam. I can book the exam for 30th of May. I can book the exam in the month of June. Possible. I can book my exam till June 15th for May, June window. But don't wait till that because the slots would run out. They have limited seating capacity, and if everybody else booked the exam, you'll not have your seating capacity. And how do I book the exam? This is the link prometric.com/ICMA. So you can go to that website and you can book your exam over there. So you can see this is the page that is visible to you. So all these things will be there. Let's say I'm in Asia Pacific. These are the contact details for Indian office. So how do I book the exam? On the left side, you can see locate, schedule, confirm, and reschedule. So I'll go to schedule, and I would need the token number that I get after booking the exam fee in the IMA website, but I'll just show you the process. Okay. So I'll go to the schedule page, click on the next, and okay, all this story. Next, consent, next. Okay, so you can see the authorization number and the first 4 characters. So this authorization number I'll get once I make the payment for the exam on the IMA page. I have to log into my IMA, and from there I have to book the exam. I have to make the payment. Then they'll send an authorization number on the email, I'll have to enter that authorization number and the last first four characters of my last name. Click submit, then select the slot and click the book the exam. That's how I'm supposed to do it. Let me go to the schedule part just to show you how to check for the seat availability and all that stuff. So part 1 CMA exam, let's just check for that. And pin code, let's say 5,90,000, Hyderabad, Telangana. Start date today, and till end of June I want to check. Okay, it is showing only one calendar month. That's okay. So you can see for May in Hyderabad, I still have slots available in both the testing centers. What? Why? Why are there two testing centers in Hyderabad? There was supposed to be only one. Oh, okay, that's just the same center. You can see it is both in the same building. Maybe they have just split out the floors, first floor and second floor or something like that. You can see both 1 and 2 are on the same mark there. It is Prometric Testing Private Limited India, Prometric Testing Private Limited India. Just the code has changed. So there's only one center for Prometric Testing Center in Hyderabad. It is in Gachibowli. What was that? Financial district, I guess. But anyways, you guys can figure that out. So you can search for the slot availability by this manner. You can see the dates and slots that are available. 12:30. Yeah. Okay. So coming back to the, where is this? Yeah, here. So that is how you can use the prometric.com/ICMA for your scheduling the appointment and to check the availabilities. So yes, now you can reschedule or cancel your appointment. Sir, what if I book the exam and I want to cancel it or I want to reschedule it? Yes, you can do that, but remember, if you cancel your application, you do not get a refund. It does not generate any refund. So what you can do is you can reschedule to the different date in the same testing window. That means if you have booked the exam for May, June, so in this testing window, you can reschedule the exam. Suppose I booked for 5th May and I had a fever that day. I want to reschedule it for 10th of June rather. So yes, you can do that. Okay. You can cancel your appointment and reschedule it to another date within the same testing window if you cancel at least 72 hours prior to your scheduled appointment. Means if I booked on 5th of May, the exam is for 5th of May, 72 hours prior to that. Okay, that means at least before 2nd May I have to reschedule. If I'm planning to reschedule on the 4th of May, not possible. At least 72 hours prior only you have to change. And they'll charge you a fee if you cancel your exam within 30 days of the scheduled appointment date. That means if you cancel it after 5th of April, they are going to charge fees for that. If you cancel within less than 72 hours, you will not even get any fees or refund or anything like that. If you wish to transfer your exam appointment to the next testing window, you will be charged a fee by IMA and you have to submit this request ima@imanet.org not later than 5 days before the scheduled appointment. This fees cannot be waived off. Alright, so that means if you have booked your exam for 5th of May and you want to cancel this booking and you want to postpone it to September-October window. So you have to write an email to ima@imanet.org at least 5 days before the exam. That means before the 30th of April. Okay. And then you have to pay the rescheduling fee, around $75 if I remember it right. I'll also show you the fee structure. This Prometric is done, so let's close those Prometric part. So I'll just go to the CMA notifications part. And you can see the recent price changes effective from 1st of October 2023 last year. And if I scroll down, you can see here new fees for changing or cancelling the exam dates. ICMA has implemented new policies regarding the cancelling. Then if you want to request a transfer to next testing window, a fee of $75 will be payable, and these are the terms and conditions will be there. $75, or in some cases $50 fee will be there. If you are cancelling 3 to 30 days of the appointment date, this fees cannot be waived off. Okay, so yeah, that is about the fees part. Then coming back, refund policy. Any cases if you want to cancel the IMA registration, you have no refund. Sir, I already registered with IMA, will I get a refund of the registration fee? No. I already booked the exam, will I get a refund of the exam fee? No, you will not get refund under any circumstances. You can only use that for subsequent windows if you want to reschedule. That is the maximum you can do. So on the day of exam, what am I supposed to do? At the Prometric test center, at least arrive 30 minutes before the time. If you are more than 15 minutes late, then your appointment will be cancelled. You will not get any refund of the fees. You will be required to sign the logbook, provide a fingerprint. You should submit your valid identity proofs. At least two valid ID proofs you should carry, maybe Aadhaar, passport, PAN, your ATM debit cards with your signature on that, credit cards with the signature on the back, your voter ID, driving license. At least carry two valid government issued IDs. Aadhaar alone is not considered as the ID proof. It should be signed by you. So passport and PAN or driving license or bank passbook, those things would be much more appropriate. You can take an approved calculator, a normal digital calculator, or a scientific calculator that is approved by IMA. You can take those. Do not carry any paper, pen, pencil, etc. They'll not allow inside the exam center. They'll give you the paper and pencil. When I gave my IMA exam for the first time, I was genuinely surprised. They gave me two A4 sheets with two pencils. And when I ran out of the A4 sheets, they just gave me two sheets for working. I called him and said that I need more A4 papers for rough calculations and all. They took away the two papers that are given to me, and they gave me two blank papers again. So you are not at all allowed to even carry out your working rough papers out of the exam center. You have to submit those papers back to them before you leave the exam hall. So IMA is very strict about that. Gold jewelry, ornaments, any watch, smart watches, fit bands, do not carry anything to the exam hall. They'll give you a locker. You can put your mobile, your books, or anything that you carry till that point. You can put them in the exam center. What are allowed inside the exam center is your ID proof and a water bottle. That's all they will allow you to carry inside, and your calculator and the exam hall, that booking schedule or whatever, hall ticket kind of thing. But even the water bottle should not have any labels on that, like Bisleri or Aquafina, Tata, whatever it is. They'll remove the sticker. Only a transparent water bottle will be allowed inside the exam center. So they are very strict with the entry policy. So please be very careful. Okay. On the date of exam. Next, regarding the identification requirements, the name on your ID card must match exactly with the name on your authorization letter. If there are any changes, at least 7 days prior to your booking, you have to get them resolved. Okay. Next, no changes will be made once you complete the exams. So if there is a spelling mistake in your registration, IMA registration, get it rectified before you pass the exam. Once you pass the exam, no changes will be allowed. So at least one primary ID or two secondary IDs you should carry. Primary IDs include passport, government issued national country ID with photograph like PAN or Aadhaar. Again, as I told you, Aadhaar does not have signature, so they are not allowing it as a primary. They are considering it as secondary. So if you are carrying secondary, you have to carry at least two. Even PAN also, they are asking for a duplicate secondary ID only. So if you are carrying passport, only passport is sufficient. But if you are carrying Aadhaar, then Aadhaar plus PAN, or Aadhaar plus voter, or PAN plus voter, or Aadhaar plus post, this is not. bank ATM debit or credit card with the signature. So any two of these or passport alone, either of these two will work. Regarding the calculator, these are the models which are allowed for you, so you can carry any of these models. So IMA will set the standards properly. So you can see here the questions on the IMA exam will be different for different students. Do not think that all the students will get the same exam questions, but the overall consistency will be the same. You all will not get the same questions, but the same level of difficulty will be tested in the IMA exam. There will not be any bias for the scores. Okay, here is the most controversial topic of IMA, scaled scoring. As I told you, out of 500, you have two parts, right? 100 MCQs and two essay questions. And now the thing is that out of this 500, you are supposed to score 360 to pass the exam. Okay, so how do I get this? Is there any direct per question marks like that? Let me talk in detail about that. So out of this 500, the 100 MCQs will have 75% weightage and two essays will have 25% weightage, right? So that means 75% is 375 marks and this is 125 marks. Now, many students think that, sir, two essays for 125, that means for each essay 62.5 marks, right? Very good. Wrong. Out of this 125, first essay could be for 50 marks and the second essay could be for 75 marks. Or the other way around. Or it could be 60 and 65. Or it could be 70 and 55. Or it could be 125 for all I care. There is no equal distribution of the marks between the questions. Okay, so you cannot assume that the questions will all contain the same marks. No, it is not like that. And out of this 100 MCQs, only 90 are marked and the remaining 10 are unmarked. Okay, so does that mean 375 by 90? That means 4.17 per question. No, again, that is also not correct because the weightage of each question would be different. Okay, and look at this, that is called as scaled scores. All scores on the CMA exam are expressed as scaled scores ranging from 0 to 500 with the pass score set at 360. The raw score on the test, how many number of items you got correct, are transformed into this scale for the purpose of maintaining uniformity and consistency in the way scores are reported, regardless of which test form a candidate may take. So irrespective of the questions that you got, each question will have different weightages. So the weighted average score will be shown to you. The weighted average score is 360, not the overall score. But the condition is that at least 50 MCQs out of the 100, at least 50 MCQs in number should be correct for you to get access to the essay section of the exam. Otherwise, you won't get access to essay section. All right, then once you pass the part 1 and part 2, you will be considered as CMA qualified. If you could not access the essay section, you will get the performance report approximately 14 days after the exam results are posted. I think exam results are usually posted 6 to 8 weeks from end of the month. So for example, you have given your exam in Jan-Feb window and you have given on 10th January. So wait till end of Jan, 31st Jan, and from there 6 weeks, usually 6 weeks. If there is any delay, then 8 weeks. That means you will get your results in after 15th March, approximately after 15th March. Sorry, not May, 15th March. 6 weeks. So you are supposed to maintain confidentiality, do not disclose the IMA related confidential items with anyone. Then they are compliant with Americans with Disabilities Act, which is not required for us. And regarding the CPE, continuing professional education CPE hours that I mentioned at the start of this lecture. So you have to do 30 hours of training annually every year, and 2 hours should be definitely in the area of ethics. So what are all the rules and regulations you can see here, CPE rules and regulations. I'm not going to discuss more than that here. And your rights and responsibilities is that you should maintain your certification, fulfill the objectives, 30 hours of CPE, comply with the ethical practice, pay the CMA annual fees as I mentioned earlier, and you are required to comply with the local laws and regulations. So if you are convicted by a felon as for a felony in India, then your CMA membership will also be cancelled. Suppose if you have been arrested for a murder or something like that, your CMA membership will be cancelled because you have not complied with the local laws and all that stuff regarding not murder related, but how do I say this? Recently Indian IMA has, sorry, Indian ICMA, ICAI. Oh my God. Okay, ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So ICAI has what do you call it? Revoked the membership for some 3 or 4 CA firms that are affiliated with the EY Big Four, because of some non-compliance with the rules and regulations. They are not supposed to do advertisements, but they have done advertisements. They are not supposed to share fees with other than CS. They shared fees with non-members also. So apparently they are in violation of ethics. So they have cancelled the membership fees. Membership numbers for 3 or 4 CA firms. So like that, if you are violating the local accounting rules, accounting laws and local laws, then also your membership will not be continued. It is your responsibility to make sure you comply with the local laws. So that is everything regarding the CMA handbook. Okay, that is just the first resource that we discussed. And we also discussed about obviously CMA notifications I have shown you. So any changes in the CMA will be put up here in the notification section. So you should always keep an eye out for that. Frequently keep checking the notifications part. And then you have two more. One is called content specifications outline, and the other one is called learning outcome statements, loss statement. So let me just quickly show you those two. I won't be going in detail into those things, the content and all, because that is not something that you should be much worried about, because your tutor or whatever book you are using for preparation, Hawk, Wiley, Gleam, Sergeant, or whatever it is, they'll take care of this. So content specification outline, basically this is nothing but syllabus guide. And the last time the main syllabus has updated is January 1st 2020 during lockdown time, where they added section F to the part 1 syllabus, that is regarding your information technology. Okay, so the content specifications you can check here. These are all the details that are given, and their level of knowledge that is required, what kind of topics will be there, what are the part 1 and part 2 uh, proficiencies that are tested. Here is your content specification outline. This is what I was talking about, the syllabus. Okay, so no matter whether you are studying from Hawk or Wiley or Gleam or Sergeant or any other institute material, whatever it is, make sure that those materials are covering all the topics listed on the content specification outline guidelines. So you can see financial statements, 5 topics, recognition and measurement, 6 topics are there. Okay, then planning and budgeting. In strategic planning you have 5, in budgeting you have 4, forecasting you have 3, budgeting methodologies. So like this, for each topic they will give you the list of points that are covered for you. So make sure you go through all of these things. This is your syllabus guide basically. All right, part 1 and then part 2. So that is your content specification outline. Similarly, you have learning outcome statement. This is basically the same content that is shown till now in the content specification outline. The same content will be there except for in more detail. So let me just bring that up. Yeah. So the loss statement you can see. Now, first page itself is there. Okay. So you can see in the previous one. Let me open that also side by side. We'll be done with that also. Mm. So in the content specification outline, if I go to part 1, so in the section A, financial statements and recognition, that is what is mentioned. But if I go to this part 1, section A1, financial statements, within financial statements, what are all the topics that you are supposed to cover? And then recognition measurement, what are all the topics that you have to cover? So here, let's say in balance sheet, income statement, and 5 statements are given. If I go to this, those 5 statements are further explained in detail. For balance sheet, income statement, changes in equity, cash flows, you should be doing all of this. And for integrated reporting, you should be doing all of this. Similarly, if I go to section B, in strategic planning, there are 5 subtopics, right? If I go to this, uh, section B1, strategic planning, right? So you can see those 5 subtopics are expanded further. Like in detail, each point, each topic will be given in detail here. Similarly, budgeting concepts. In budgeting concepts, only 4 subtopics, 4 words are mentioned here, 4 points. But if you see here, it is expanded into number of points here. So your learning objective statement is a much more detailed version of your loss statement. Sorry, your loss statement is a much more detailed form of the content specification outline, CSOs. Okay. So for your examination purpose, these are not study materials, but you can use this to confirm your knowledge. Like for example, once you are done with section B1, strategic planning, then you can come here and say that, okay, do I know short-term objectives versus long-term goals, long-term strategic goals? Yes, I know. Then do I know what are the successful strategic plans, characteristics for that? Yes, I know. Porter's generic strategies, there are 2 strategies, cost leadership and product differentiation. And focus is the mixed strategy that we can, okay. And similarly, SWOT analysis, do I know strength, weakness, opportunity and threat? Yes. Porter's 5 forces. Yes. Similarly, pest analysis, BCG growth, growth share matrix, contingency planning, competitive analysis. Do I know all these or not? So you can use this as a what do you call to-do list or a checklist to make sure you covered all these topics. So once you are done with any chapter or any topic of your lectures, immediately go to the loss statement, learning objective statement, and make sure you check all of the boxes. So if you missed any, then immediately let your tutor know that, sir, you missed this particular topic, or ma'am, you did not cover this topic, and they'll do that for you. Okay. So I covered about most important aspects that every CMA student should mandatorily know. So that is handbook, which has everything that you should know about IMA, must and should. And we covered about the content specification outline. We covered about learning outcome statements. We discussed about the latest notifications. We discussed about the CMA exam support package that they provide to you. And we also discussed about your exam booking, how you have to book your exam. Then we discussed about how to schedule your exam, when the results will come out, how the marks are given, difference between normal scores and scaled scores and whatnot. So I am assuming that this video is full of information that will help you get a better understanding about your CMA qualification. And if you are interested to know more details about the detailed videos on part 1 and part 2 exam structure and all, please go to YouTube, okay, and just search Global Phoenix over there, the channel. So you can see Global Phoenix channel here. So you can see some the details and all here. So there is a section on the home category, that CMA US part 1. So you can see all this list of videos. So what I would recommend you to do is just rather you can either just scroll down and go through this part 1, or you can go to the playlist. I don't know why it is taking so much time. I just asked you to show playlist, bro. Okay, there they are. You can see a lot of playlists that are there, and yeah, here is CMA part 1. Introduction, then exam guide. This is the one that I was talking about.
Both should be evaluated by
Yeah.
someone sitting in US, UK, or in anywhere.
So you can see this particular video has the complete details about the CMA part 1 exam. It is around 15 minutes of video just to talk about the examination mode, the marks, the scores, what you need to get, how much, and all that stuff. So you can go through that video for you know more details about this. It is titled CMA US part 1 exam guide, structure, pass percentage, etc, etc. All right. So I think I have given you the complete information about CMA US examinations and the complete qualification. So I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep smiling. Take care. Bye bye.